This film, produced by Chakma, Suhas Chakma, the voice in the silence, the star among the shadows, a childhood rooted in struggle in a forgotten corner of the subcontinent, where bamboo forests whisper ancient stories and rivers carry unspoken grief. A boy named Suhas Chakma was born not into comfort, not into privilege, but into the fierce resistance of his people's survival. The Chakma community, indigenous to the Chittagong hill tracts of Bangladesh, has long been marginalized and silenced, scattered like forgotten pages of a hidden history. Growing up, Suhas saw firsthand the gradual erasure of his people's identity, families stripped of citizenship, children barred from education, a community made invisible by political indifference. From the turbulent hills of Bangladesh to the contested frontiers of Arunachal Pradesh, the Chakmas were labeled stateless, unwanted shadows at the edges of nationhood. But Suhas, he did not turn away. He listened deeply to these silences, walked alongside the suffering, and resolved to rise. A quiet flame begins to burn. Those early years weighed heavily on Suhas's young shoulders, sorrow pressing on him like a sacred responsibility. He witnessed closed doors to schools, to jobs, to recognition, and felt the sting of exclusion not as an abstract injustice but as a daily reality. Yet amid that darkness, Suhas saw light not in grand gestures, but in the resilience and hope of his people. Education became his weapon against invisibility, empathy his compass guiding each step, and justice the fire fueling his spirit. His academic journey was more than personal advancement, it was a forging. He emerged from classrooms not just as a student, but as a sharpened voice ready to pierce the cacophony of silence surrounding the Chakmas, the messiah of his people. In 2001, Suhas Chakma founded the Rights and Risks Analysis Group RRAG. This was no mere institution, it was a lifeline cast to the stateless, a sword drawn for the voiceless, and a shield raised for those left powerless. For the Chakmas of Arunachal Pradesh, Suhas transcended the role of activist. He became a bridge between despair and hope, a messiah bearing the collective dreams of his people. Over his career, he has filed more than 2,100 complaints to the National Human Rights Commission, each one a story restored, a wrong challenged, a future reclaimed. When families were denied the basic right of citizenship, Suhas stood tall. When students were blocked from schools and colleges, he fought tirelessly. When silence threatened to become law, he roared with reason and relentless advocacy. Through tireless effort, he brought a silent people back into the light, visible, heard, and unbowed. The humble star who shines from within despite international acclaim and national recognition, Suhas remains profoundly humble, almost monastic in his demeanor. He carries no entourage, demands no spectacle, and fights with no ego. "I am one of them," he often says, not as a phrase for public consumption, but as a lived truth. His workspace is not gilded halls or polished studios, but courtrooms, border villages, refugee camps, and simple huts where his people dwell. His fame has never eclipsed his commitment to those who rely on him. Suhas's spotlight is not on himself, but on the people he serves, a light that shines quietly but powerfully from within. A star born of soil and suffering to the world, Suhas Chakma may be known as a human rights defender, but to the Chakmas of Arunachal Pradesh, he is much more their North Star, a steadfast protector and pathfinder who carries their hopes and dreams. In the tangled political wilderness of Northeast India, where voices are often lost amid conflict and neglect, Suhas's unwavering flame burns bright. He has carried his people's cause to global platforms, addressing the United Nations and engaging with powerful governments not as a diplomat in polished halls, but as a son of the soil, rooted deeply in the land and struggles of his community. The legacy still unfolding. Suhas Chakma's story is far from over. It unfolds still in courtrooms where justice is wrested from silence, in classrooms where children once barred find the light of education, and in borders softened by compassion rather than cruelty. He does not seek the spotlight, yet The camera always finds him because when you carry the hopes of a people, the world inevitably takes notice. His legacy is not just in laws changed or cases won, but in the quiet victories of a people reawakened to their dignity and rights. When history remembers those who made silence speak, Suhas Chakma's name will echo a song too powerful, too enduring to ever be forgotten. This is more than a documentary. It is a living tribute to a man who transformed his people's pain into purpose, and who still walks with them, step by step, toward a future they were once denied. Disclaimer: this film, produced by Chakma, is a creative and educational tribute inspired by the life, work, and impact of Suhas Chakma. While based on true events and real advocacy milestones, certain characters, scenes, and dramatizations are used for visual storytelling purposes and may be fictional or symbolic in nature. Any resemblance to individuals beyond Suhas Chakma or specific events not publicly documented is purely coincidental or artistic in intent. This narrative does not claim to be an exhaustive biography, but seeks to honor the spirit of resilience, justice, and leadership that Suhas Chakma represents.